Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney and today is Tuesday, May 31st. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app on this last day of May before we head into the month of June. Here on 3 News Now, we bring you the stories that matter most to you here in Northeast Ohio. These are the stories that you are clicking on, reading, and sharing from our website and from our app. And we start today with, on the one hand, upsetting, but on the other hand, positive news out of Wellington because a student was arrested after making threats against the school. The positive news, of course, being that the arrest was able to be made before anything dangerous happened to anyone at Wellington High School. There was a letter sent to district families from Superintendent Edward Wepper that said that police determined the threats to be reliable, and so that arrest was made. District leaders were told about the threat, and they investigated and also worked together with law enforcement to act proactively in this scenario. Now, the superintendent wanted to remind district families about the Safer Ohio School Tip Line. It's a free statewide resource, so this goes out to all school districts here in Ohio. You can anonymously report school safety concerns, and that number is 844-723-3764. Safer OH is what it spells out. 844 Safer OH. And you can call or text that line. Again, that number is 844-723-3764, and that is a 24/7 line. Now, something that is coming soon to Ohio, we know, is sports betting. And we know a little bit more about the universal start date for sports betting here in Ohio. When that bill was signed into law by Governor DeWine, we know that the state had until January 1st of 2023 to get all of its ducks in a row in order to make sports betting happen here in Ohio. Well, the Ohio Casino Control Commission is set to announce a universal start date tomorrow. That's its meeting on Wednesday, June 1st, the commission's official meeting. But if you take a look at the website, they are revealing the information early because the website has revealed the universal start date is expected to be, if not exactly, on January 1st, 2023. So people who were hoping to get that sports betting in before football season or before the World Series for Major League Baseball in October, doesn't look like it's going to happen there. It was in the frequently asked questions section of the website where the information was, and the answer to that question about the sports betting potentially for the NFL season or for the World Series in Major League Baseball said this: given the intricacies of the rulemaking process in Ohio and the number of licenses and investigations that the commission must issue or undertake, the universal start date is likely to be close to, if not exactly, on January 1st, 2023. So a bit of a letdown for people who were hoping to get that legal sports betting in for the NFL season and again for the Major League Baseball World Series. But Ohio's been waiting a long time for this. So I guess we know now about 7 more months to go, and then it will be legal and everything will be set up here in Ohio, because that is the drop-dead deadline in order for it to take effect. That was according to the language in the bill that was signed into law by Governor DeWine. Speaking of football season, though, Canton's Hall of Fame Village is set to open later this summer, possibly with some things in place before the Professional Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival. That happens, the first week in August. But it was 2 weeks ago that we found out that the naming rights sponsor of the Hall of Fame Village wanted out of the deal. Of course, that's a lawsuit, so that's pending. We'll keep you posted on what's happening there. But other things continue to move forward. So they are now in phase 2 of the build, and they call it the Play Action Plaza. Officials say that this will have something for everyone: an amphitheater with a variety of events, including concerts, restaurants, food trucks, an outdoor bar, vendors and entertainment options, and eventually sports betting, but from the sounds of things, not before January 1st, 2023. And there are several attractions like the Ferris wheel that was formerly at the IX Indoor Amusement Park, and there will also be a soaring football zip line. So lots of big eye-catching attractions as you're driving down the highway, as you're driving down 77, whether you're going north or south, depending on where you're coming from, to see that on the side of the road. Construction is well underway. This part is expected to be open and completed later this summer, and then next year they are expecting to have a football-themed water park and a hotel in the works. Interested to see how that water park develops. I'm from Canton, so keeping a close eye on this one myself. Still in the sports world, news from the Cleveland Cavaliers today. This is according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, that the Cavs are hiring Luke Walton to be an assistant coach on head coach J.B. Bickerstaff's team. Now, he's a former second-round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, and then he spent portions of his last 2 seasons of his 10-year playing career in Cleveland. While he was in Cleveland, he made 71 appearances for the Cavaliers. He averaged 3 points, 2.8 assists, and 2.5 rebounds. Walton retired from the NBA following the 2012-2013 season, and then he started a coaching career. He worked with Steve Kerr's staff with the Golden State Warriors, and then in 2016 he became the Lakers head coach. He had a 98-win, 148-loss in 3 seasons before parting ways with the Lakers. And then he went on to the Sacramento Kings, where he was head coach in 2019. Not much success in Sacramento, though, with a record of 31 wins and 41 losses before being fired after the start of the 2021-22 season. So he's returning to Cleveland now as an assistant coach, and he is returning to potentially a pretty good situation, we hope, because the Cavs team is considered to be one of the most promising young rosters in the NBA. So let's see what he has to work with there and how that works for Luke Walton, who we expect to see here back in Cleveland. And this week, the 3 Things to Know podcast is about a topic that is very popular right now in the zeitgeist. You've seen these documentaries on Netflix about love scams. The Tinder Swindler is one of them. Another one is Bad Vegan. And the common thread here is that people are being taken advantage of by people who are claiming to be romantically interested in them. And we're seeing it more and more because in the past 5 years, the FTC has reported that people have lost $1.3 billion to romance scams. $1.3 billion with a B. And in 2021, love scams in 2021 alone reported losses with a record $547 million for the year. That's just for the year. So things are going up. That's a big increase compared to 2020. That's an 80% increase. And listen, this is no small amount of money. This is not just affecting the rich and famous. The median number reported lost in 2021 was $2,400. That's a significant amount of money. It's a lot of money. That's a couple months' rent if you're living in downtown Cleveland, for example. So this is a significant issue here. So in order to talk about this, I brought in sex therapist Claire Postel from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, and she talks to me about ways you can pick up on red flags that someone might be doing this to you, how you can avoid being scammed, what you should do if you get scammed, and how you can bounce back from that. It's a fascinating conversation. So that's on the 3 Things to Know podcast this week. You can find it at WKYC.com/3 Things to Know. It's on every podcast platform. It's also on the WKYC YouTube page and the WKYC Instagram page. So check that out. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you are willing to share if you have been a victim of a love scam. You know, it's not just these grand things either. Sometimes it's, before you know it, somebody ends up living in your house and you're paying for dinner all the time and things like that. And then, you know, when you get to a point where you say, gee, you know, this is getting to be kind of a lot, then those people, they're gone. So love scams don't have to be big and grand. So keep that in mind. It's something that really affects and touches all of us. Now, here's some good news in the city of Wickliffe. They have become Northeast Ohio's first community of kind land. This is a national campaign called Just Be Kind, and it's been created by Values in Action Foundation. And Wickliffe is pioneering this new title. So what they will do is they will have a new initiative for the entire city to promote kindness. That includes the city government, schools, and residents. And every month there will be a new initiative or a new kind goal, as they call it, to pave the way. It started with Wickliffe's high school students who pledged kindness before the school year ended, and in the fall it'll move on to the middle school and the elementary school, and this is a community-wide initiative. The mayor of Wickliffe talked about how at the end of the day, you know, be kind to your family, be kind to your neighbors, and then also be kind to your community, and that's kind of the embodiment of all of this. One more thing to let you know before we go here. Listen, if you follow me on social media, you know a couple weeks ago I had full-grown deer in my backyard. So it's the season and they are out there. And so we are dealing with the urban myth of what you should do if you find a baby deer, because they're out there too, and it doesn't matter how much of the city you think you live in, because I live in a very urban part of the city and still had these deer just hanging out in my backyard. So the urban myth is that if you touch a fawn, its mother will abandon it. So our Verify team took a look at whether that was true or not and talked with some wildlife professionals. Here's the deal. In the wild, a mom will leave during the day and come back several times to check on a baby deer. There's a reason that they do that, because fawns are born mostly without a scent, and this helps hide them from predators. So the mama deer doesn't want to be around that baby deer because the mama deer doesn't want to get its scent on the fawn, because that could attract predators. Which brings us to why you should not touch a baby deer, because that could potentially get your scent on that baby deer. Because again, remember, it's born pretty much with no scent. Well, so the answer to the question is, a mother will not abandon a fawn if you touch it, but you still should not touch it because you could attract predators to that baby deer that wouldn't otherwise be attracted to it. Here is the one exception. If you see a fawn in a dangerous location, you can move it to a safer location, but limit touching the animal as much as you can. Not because you don't want the mom to reject it, that's not a thing, but because you don't want to attract predators to that baby deer. That's your answer there. And the final thing I will leave you with today on this Tuesday, May 31st, is it is National Smile Day. So hopefully you're finding something to smile about. If you are smiling about something, go ahead and leave a comment on our post asking why you're smiling. That goes up every Monday, and we use it in the Good News Show, which drops every Thursday at 1 p.m. on the WKYC YouTube page. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Tuesday, May 31st. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Enjoy this beautiful sunshiny weather, because we do have storms coming in tomorrow, according to our 3 News meteorology team. And I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.